Okay. And the microphone worked. Everything's coming up Wilto today. Hello. Let's put down a zine as a coaster so I'm not making a lot of noise with a coffee mug. This is my post that I'm sharing. Wait. Is Twitch still offline? What's happening? Man, oh, okay. Now I'm back. Good. All part of the plan, Chris. Since I can't stop incriminating myself, the key is for no one to ever listen to me. Good. Good. At least the brand is strong in that I am constantly having done crimes and constantly almost confessing to them. Do we consider Sonic the Hedgehog to be a work, thus deserving of italics? No, because I say games. From Sonic the Hedgehog. We don't need to know which one. Welcome to the process of writing the JavaScript for Everyone newsletter. Constant, careless crimer. That's good. You can all hear the saxophone already. All right, so I've written a grand total of one gigantic, miserable sentence for the newsletter in advance of writing the newsletter. So we're winging it, and I'll tell you for why. It's because there is an official, on paper, announced to the world shortly, live date for the course. It is October 14th, which is so soon, and does, I think, still count as early autumn, so I'm not way off. But this is the newsletter announcing that, so it doesn't have to be a whole huge thing, I don't think. But instead of writing it, I did mess around with the new temporal API, and that's different. Better, certainly, than date, but interesting. Anyway, I'm not going to do that, though. I'm not doing that. We're writing. As usual, we start with a dramatic reading of whatever I have scrawled down haphazardly prior to starting. So join me now, won't you? The first hints of autumn in New England. The leaves have just barely started to turn, except for my cherry tree in the front yard, which I think is dying. The first of the 12-foot lawn skeletons have begun their migration back from hell, and, for me personally, the drowning music from Sonic the Hedgehog grows ever louder and faster. That's right. Early. Okay, great. This is the New Englander influence. That's what that is. Soon you're going to be eating fistfuls of blueberries. You're going to have strong opinions about where maple syrup comes from. You're going to spell miter as in miter saw. R-E. That's a fair point. Boy, the whole course, just like exponentially longer than it took to create JavaScript originally by, again, as is tradition on these streams, Hatsune Miku, the creator of JavaScript. Says on all our fancy. Now that's a work for everyone. Nobody is freaking out in an extremely italicized is all I do for a living, and I still can't spell italics. Nobody is early autumn, like it says in all our fancy JavaScript for everyone branding. It is here, the equinox is happening, and nobody is freaking out in an extremely italicized way. Oh, oh goodness. Oh no, Canadian maple syrup. No, that's fine. That's fine that you have that. That technically qualifies. If Ethan Marcotte shows up and he hears you talking about Canadian maple syrup as a born Vermonter, it's not going to go great. Nobody is freaking out in an extremely italicized way. And I am a little, but things are going pretty good. I mean, I'm not doing a full screen share, or I'd show you the Notion instance. Let's open that up for me. You don't get to see that. There's a lot of ready for final passes. About half, I would say, with 3 weeks to go. Aha! See, this is the beauty of the two chats, if and when they do work. That's pretty good. Where did OBS go? That seems important to still have somewhere. Okay, now we're good. I don't think this needs to be a long newsletter. I do probably want to show... Oh, Andy's in there making edits in Notion as we speak. So if I were to show this, I think I'm probably blowing up the spot a little. But I will do it anyway. What are the chances this whole thing's going to crash like it does when I try and switch in Zoom? Ho ho ho! First try. Wait, Vale, intending to send a draft, but demo's broke. Features only in Chrome and... What feature? What feature are we talking? You're not doing temporal, are you? I've distracted myself now, hearing about things that are broken while showing off the course. I haven't caught up with view transitions at all. I don't know what the score is with... There was like... some big perf weirdnesses, as I recall last time I checked in. Oh man, yeah, Wilto wrangling for everyone is its own whole separate thing. But ready for final pass? Don't look too close. You probably can't read this as small as it is, which is maybe on purpose, let's say. But you can see where all the weirding modules have become real. Only a handful of things left to do. It's going. We're at a count of 49 lessons, which haunts me because I can't sneak in one more. I can't get an even 50 out of that. It's got to be something else I can do. Pronounced V. Is that right? Well, the problem is you're using one of those Linux dork machines. Not like the cool kids use. Windows ME. That's the latest one, in an ironic way. It's like when mustaches came back for a little while. It's a good laptop. I got a 12 too. I did. I bought a 12 to write on. Like while I'm sitting out on the veranda, by which I mean the stoop facing the street. They're pretty good. They work pretty okay. Oh, I didn't know you were on a framework. Pretty good. I mean, I don't know that. From what I've read, it's not necessarily a slam dunk that they are pretty good when they first show up in the box. Yeah, framework. Send me $8. Framework right here. Send me $8. I brought it up enough. I deserve this. All the cool kids are doing it. And the main thing it doesn't have any of is AI in it. Oh yeah, Framework, the repairable computer manufacturer, because I am compelled to not fix things necessarily, but to be able to. When I can't, when I'm not allowed to fix something, it trips some gland way back here, where that thing becomes disposable, and that's why all of my MacBook Pros over like decades were all named like MacBook Pro 1, 2, 3. It's just like it didn't. Anyway, this is not the topic. We're talking about JavaScript, is what we're talking about, not computers. I'll never talk about computers. That's the Wilto guarantee. I'm here to talk about JavaScript. They are pretty good, though. All right. That's right. Early autumn. Early autumn. Just like it says on all our fancy JavaScript for everyone brand. Unless they give me $8. Yes, if they give me $8, then I will talk about it more. I'd take 5. Nobody is not the right intensifier for that. The equinox just happened. I always think autumn should be capitalized. Nobody is freaking out in an extremely italicized way. Good. We have now officially, well, we've had this date officially for some time, as hinted at. Is saying X weeks in a newsletter hinting? Previous newsletter. Was that the previous one? That can't be right. Let's travel through time. 7 weeks. There must have been another one after that. Right? No, I guess not. As hinted at in the previous newsletter. Previously. Is that where I said something about an enrage? Yeah. This was a better newsletter than the one I'm writing. This is what I do every time. That's true. That's true. If we're being honest, chat is a constant impediment to my doing this thing. But it is more entertaining than just writing a newsletter, you know? Yeah, enough. Enough that you feel like you're getting away with distracting me, because otherwise I'll be like, wait a second. Yeah. Every time I open the previous newsletter, I'm like, hey, this is pretty good. This current one sucks, but the last one was pretty good. There is now an official... And I think this newsletter is... First concrete, ironclad. Nobody is freaking out at present. Announcement of it. October 14th. 20 this October. That can't be right. What's my word count? I did a word count. It was something like 80,000 words. I should look that up. That's not the right font. What's happening there? Huh. Speaking of these dork computer Linux machines. Fonts, though. You know? Max, they ain't. Where am I? Is that big enough to read? Yeah, probably. This October? That can't be right. Lord, your XP. See now, Chris, this is a very effective way of distracting me. Is telling me about all the systems I don't know about or understand involved in streaming. What XP? Are you winning at my stream right now? Have you bested me to the point where you've gained levels? Are we doing Undertale? Is this an Undertale? Does Twitch also have XP? How much do I? What level am I? Am I winning? Yeah, we're doing Twitch Plays Wilto. Everybody sound off in the chat which key you want me to press next, and I'll type it. Ready? And go. It would be a really good bit if I just ended the stream. Oh, Linux doesn't have Alt. We don't have that. It hasn't made it over here yet, so we only have super. Alt F4 power button key. Okay. Is that good? How much XP do I have now? Man. I just saw a big thing on Twitch where it was like, you can collect MacGuffins or whatever. Chris, I think you've mentioned at one point. They're like bits. That's it. Do I want bits? Should I amass bits? Is it good? It's not Bitcoin, is it? I don't want Bitcoin in this. Don't put Bitcoin in my computer. I don't even want a printer, let alone AI and Bitcoins. Nothing does. How many bits do I have to make before I can retire from writing newsletters? What's the conversion rate of bits to dollars? There probably is one, huh? It's probably actual money. Then I gotta buy a hot tub. I know the meta that I read about in a newsletter 2 years ago. You're kidding. Pennies on the dollar. All right, well, you know. Everyone's doing a great job keeping me from writing this newsletter today. But I could probably use a little time to breathe anyway. It has been a scramble. That's probably a pretty good bit to end on. Imperiled it? Spell that right? Imperiled? Yeah, I guess so. All right. Yeah, that is a pretty good worth 1 penny to end on. That's the story of my writing career. Imperiled. I must go fast. I knew I wasn't going to get that. I mean, the downshot of doing all this writing live on stream is that I don't get any writing done, but the upshot is that everyone learns that I can't actually spell words despite being a professional technical writer. Occasionally impaled hedgehog, yeah, the way I play it. I was never a Genesis kid. A Nintendo family. I must proceed at an accelerated rate. And just right on the tin. We are. What was that doing there? Also, like so many imperiled hedgehogs, I gotta go fast. Especially in JavaScript. Oh my God. Fail. My back. My advanced age. Sonic Unleashed. Oh man, imagine never knowing a world but the 3D Sonic games. Sacrilege talking about Sega with my good Mega Man shirt on that I wear for streaming in front of actual people. Great job. I should really get some costume changes for these streams. I should do like a full Stevie Nicks thing where every once in a while I walk off stage and come back on. That's a Stevie Nicks reference for you youngsters here. Yeah, that's pretty good. We do have in the basement, owing to various Halloweens, a rack of clothes that we call the costume department, where previous Halloween costumes go. So for one of these, I could show up in full Tears of the Kingdom Link cosplay, which I killed it at. Perfect costume. Counted the stitches in the game. Took me from July until the week of Halloween to finish. And speaking of deadlines, also like so many imperiled hedgehogs, I gotta go fast. They previously mentioned imperiled hedgehog. This cannot be the right word. This has to mean something else, that like he has a propeller or something. No, imperiled. Okay. Like that he has a propeller or something. Have I done Sonic? I've probably done a couple of Sonic references. I've definitely done MMORPG references extensively. This one's called High Score. Escape from New York. Of course, that's been referenced. Hatsune Operandos was a pretty good name. I should have started calling everybody. Several references to Airbud in the course. Never seen it, never will, but reference to that one thing on my IMDb page. The Nintendo Fun Club, shout to Punch Out. That was a great game. Well, this is the first Sonic reference. It's time. Hello! Hello and welcome. You are single-handedly repping the entire Twitch experience right now. Everyone has gone to YouTube for some reason. I do like streaming on Twitch better. I mean, this multi-stream thing is working fine for this, but like, I don't know. As much as it feels like watching the Lego movie with stuff popping up and it trying to make me do whatever bits are, it does seem like a better streaming experience in that I don't have to think about it as much and can just play 30XX or Mega Man 2 wish I were playing Mega Man 2. How much time do I have left? Can I just switch to maybe Silk Song? Would that be good? Is that good for the stream? If I just stream Silk Song and you could just watch me run in and die over and over again? What if we just played Silk Song instead of writing? It's really good. Do clips work on YouTube? Oh no. Okay, well, good. Maybe I don't get crimed on this one over on YouTube. I mean, if anyone was gonna snitch, it's YouTube. About half of the 49 lessons in our 49. Our Notion instance is creaking under the strain of 49 semicolon packed lessons. That's not. This is nothing. This is nothing. Hollow Knight's really good. I mean, if you're an old-timey Nintendo sicko, it's a move fast game. I like a motion game. See also, you know, they are good games until you get the dash in each of the games, and then they're great games. Anything that has a go fast button. Speaking of which, 49. What's a descriptor? Syntax laden. Semicolon rich. Yeah, Hollow Knight, original Hollow Knight for sure. Very, very good. And then you can use that entire game as a warm-up for Silk Song. But the trouble is Hades 2 is coming this week. And I'm not going to beat Silk Song by then, for sure. Is it this week? Is this the week? It just says October. No. September 2025, and there's not a lot of September left. September 25th, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow is Hades 2, and that's what we're going to do instead of the course. Yes, no, good. Fail, good. Thank you. Good thinking. I'm going to go ahead and... Here's what I'm going to do, so I stop looking at you miscreants. You're not getting quoted in the news. Well, I mean, I guess I can. Quickfire, some of the stuff covered in the course. Which is sort of what this is leading into. No, I probably shouldn't describe anything as dubious. This is a lot like Astro, yeah, when you get right down to it. It is just a man having a nervous breakdown looking at a Markdown file, which is in many ways similar to the Astro experience. I don't know anything about Astro. Our Notion instance is creaking under the strain of 49 something lessons, something good joke, some good joke lessons. Across, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, technically 11 modules, but I think my one lesson wrapping up module does not count for these purposes. At time of writing, our Our Notion instance is creaking under the strain of 49, syntax laden. Maybe this. I mean, syntax laden isn't great. Spread across 10 modules, each more JavaScript than the last. I'm sorry, I used up all my good writing on the course, so now writing this you get instead for it. Thank you. Good. Oh no. Thank you, Chris, and thank you for being a bad influence about whatever the hell Twitch is selling. Because now some part of me is like, well, I'll take a penny to stream. Yeah. Each more JavaScript than the last. I'm sorry, I used up all my good writing on the course, so now writing this you get instead for it. Thank you. Each more thing than the last. Oh man, $20. That's the dream. 49 something something. Is this a good bit for this? Unfortunately, time of writing, I have used up all my good sentences. Unfortunately, I have used up all my good sentences during the course of the course. See? So now, writing this kind you get for a newsletter in the reading times. Probably not, huh? For a next newsletter in the reading times. That actually might not be. That's not the worst thing I've ever done. Like the previously mentioned imperiled hedgehog, I don't actually know the rules of hyphenating this way. Previously mentioned because it's before the subject, I think. Previously mentioned. Like so many. Did I already do so many? Okay, quick fire some of the stuff covered in the course. Each more thing than the last. Let's take a look at this. Here I am thinking. I'm doing actual thinking on the stream. It's a big day for me. Big day, considering what I'm going to write on the stream for the first time. From lexical grammar. What's the very last topic I cover? Extending classes. What's the very last intimidating thing? Static initialization blocks. I mean, it sounds cool. Covering everything from lexical grammar to static initial. That doesn't really feel like a range. Come back to this too. We're just shaping this thing out, you know? I kind of want to mention the stuff I did not get to, but that is not necessarily. Here's what you won't be getting. Isn't great. But that is more of a conversation for stream here. I am at something in the ballpark of 80,000 words, which is so much JavaScript. But it leaves out so much still too. And I probably shouldn't disclaim that. Let's go to the weirding modules. How many weirding modules do I have somehow? This many, okay. Let's share that. The titles of these are fun. Yeah, an aftermath newsletter is a good idea. The next one is going to be, is it the week of launch? That's something. No, a couple days prior to launch, I think. But then whatever follows that should be a epilogue. I'll call that the epilogue. And then what do? Do I keep newslettering? I guess. Yeah, it is many words. My JavaScript for everyone, JavaScript for web designers, the ABA book I did was like, I want to say 30,000, maybe 40,000 at most. So we are more than double that for this. It is quite a bit. It is like a book. It is quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to keep up the newsletter, you know? That's the other part of this. I'm not used to. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the phrase passive income on a stream, but like, yeah, this thing just keeps going. So I am not used to a gig that does not end. So yeah, I guess we're gonna have sales and stuff spring up. This is cool that you on the stream get to watch in real time as I think about the future at all for the first time since I started this. Who's had the time to think about long term? Each more thing than the last. Maybe I should leave it like that. Covering everything from lexical grammar to static initialization blocks. And with them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, my website's got to be like 38 words tops. Yeah, it's really counting on that rapture thing. Like I was going anywhere. You want to switch the screen capture over to my. How do I do that? Where screen capture? I've only got 9 weirding modules so far. That's not a very good title for one. Is it fair to just say festooned with weirding modules? Still work to do. $90K. Oof. I used the power of some Linux command to figure out what my word count was in this directory where I keep all my scrap paper. But that is scrap paper. I never thought I'd see the day when I was piping things to other things on purpose, but times do change. You know, I've seen hackers so many times, it was inevitable. At time of writing, our Notion instance is creaking under the strain of 49. It kills me that it's not 50. There's got to be one of these I can break up into an even 50. Each one more thing than the last, covering everything from that to that. Yeah. Yeah, the Somerville Theater near me was doing a big hackers movie night, and I can only imagine what the cosplay? What the outfits? Is it cosplay if it's real people? Anyway, I can only imagine the scene. I saw Die Hard there once for a special showing of Die Hard, like a midnight showing of Die Hard. And there were a lot of people dressed as John McClane. So hackers must really be a sight to behold. I smuggled in. They sell booze there. There's no reason to smuggle booze in. But I duct taped a bottle of booze between my shoulder blades to sneak it into the midnight showing of Die Hard for no reason other than to do it. And that one's not a crime, I don't think. So that one I'm allowed to confess to. But you gotta make your own fun, you know? Grimoire. I don't have a grimoire. I've always been a melee class. Oh, it certainly was not bring your own licensed. No. So I guess it's crime-esque, but like, is it a crime? You know, to pay homage to Die Hard? Yeah, in that way, I think yes. This is going great. I've written so much newsletter. This one is uniquely distracted. Grimoire does sound cooler. Oh. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go to Twitch and I'm going to activate whatever the hell bits are. And if I make enough to retire, I will confess to the worst crime I have ever done live on stream. And you cannot guess. You cannot guess. Some people know. But they'll never tell. Ahem. Anyway. Is positively festooned a word I don't really know. No, I cannot and will not hint at that one. No. It is pretty bad. Oh, so you have to like accrue the bits? The problem is because this is how it gets me. Because I've played so many video games, I'm like, I want to get a score. I want to win at bits. How do I get bits and give bits and earn bits? This is why the XP thing, I was like, I want this. I want my name, my initials on the high score screen. I want to write the word ass instead of my real initials. We're all going to do it. As promised, long ago, the course is positively festooned with weirding modules. Oh, yeah, that's like how Amazon Prime for some reason gave me an in-game mount in Final Fantasy XIV one time, and I don't know why. It's a cloud. It looks like Goku's cloud from Dragon Ball. You know, the flying Nimbus in the dub. It's called a flying cumulus in Final Fantasy XIV. It's a cool game for cool people. As promised long ago is not necessary. Festooned with weirding modules. Bring up my weirding module list and open up containing such phrases as number that isn't none. The only falsy object. Oh no. Oh no. No, I don't want to do a how many video games I have played count, please. On my one wild and precious life. My limited time on this earth. Sort of want to just read this weirding module to everybody. It's really good. Are people aware of the one falsy object across the whole of JavaScript forever? I'm doing this. This is good content for people. You're going to learn things. This is an actual preview of something in the course. A thing I have been promising I would do on the stream the entire time, only to get distracted by crimes and video games. That's true. Oh, I don't know, but I know Final Fantasy XIV has a command you can type in that's /playtime, and it shows you the total amount of time you have spent in-game, counted in days, and it's high. You know, back in like 2015, I didn't have a lot going on, and I started playing it then, and it's been a long time, and it has contributed nothing of value to my life. Now we're talking. Now we're getting spooky with Halloween right around the corner. Throughout the entire storied history of JavaScript, there has been a total of one object with an explicit, per the specification, I can't edit this here, per a specification, falsy value, ever. I'm going to edit this here. I'm going to flag it so I know it. Falsy value, ever. Just one. Ever. You all probably know this. You know the document interface provided by the DOM API. You're probably familiar with a few of the methods and properties it provides if you've done any JavaScripting in the browser, like query select or all, which, to my mind, is still new because I'm a dinosaur. And before that, it gave us such classics as getElement by ID. Fail, you wouldn't know this, but the 90s were a hell of a time. You remember how I said that in the aftermath of the browser wars, Microsoft effectively dictated the standards for how the web worked? Well, as old as getElement by ID is, even that hasn't been around forever. Before that, there was no standard for accessing a page's elements from JavaScript. There was, instead, Internet Explorer 4. You kids don't know. You don't know what it was like on those streets in the 90s drinking Hi-C Ecto Cooler. You didn't miss anything. IE4 introduced document all as a way to access elements within the current document, a la getElement by ID, in an extremely did the homework in the car on the way to school way. Document all provided you with an object representing the contents of the current page, with each element as a property, each of which was accessible via ID, using either dot or bracket notation. This still works to this day. You can pop on over to Firefox or Chrome if you're nasty, and you can type this into your developer console, and it will work. Oh. Go on. Fine. This could, and you use the ID to look it up in there. I'm going to power through this, and then I'll come back to your question. Fine. This could have been worse, but it's not like there was an alternative anyway. But the relative quality of this interface is neither here or there. The real problem was us. Remember, the blame for JavaScript's dark age fell on us developers as well. Internet Explorer, which I'm making meaningful eye contact with the chat as though it is accusatory at failed a person. I don't know if you've ever heard of Internet Explorer, but V8's delicious. Internet Explorer, after all, was just so fast and modern and packed with features, and if no other browser could offer us a way to access the document, well, wouldn't you have used the one provided by Internet Explorer? Especially if you could hand wave it with a little looks best in IE4 badge in your site's footer? Shout to jQuery. Love me some jQuery. Oof. Ooh. IE5 on a Mac. History may not repeat, but it does rhyme. If Chrome shipped a really, really exciting non-standard feature, not that they would ever, wouldn't you be tempted to use it? Once there was a DOM standard, we got getElement IID, agreed upon by browser vendors and implemented consistently. That isn't where the story of Document All ends. Other browsers had already followed IE4's lead, implementing Document All, and the standardized getElement by ID was brand new and inconsistently implemented. As a result, many developers wrote code like this to determine which approach to use, and that's a check for if Document All, then use Document All. Otherwise, use ratty old getElement by ID, this new dumb thing. Exactly right. Yep. Browsers that supported both approaches for the sake of backwards compatibility would still have the non-standard Document All foisted upon them. Add some words here. Course isn't done. That's true. Yeah, you would have been around for, I guess IE9 would have been the big going concern. I'm making that up. I don't know. I don't know about the passage of time. Windows Mobile, IE, that was a fun one. In order to work around this that we developers, the HTML specification was updated to include the following willful violation of the ECMAScript specification. Not going to read the spec to you, but the gist is, violate the ECMAScript spec by making Document All an object, have the type of undefined. So even if it comes back with meaningful things, and again, this is something you can do in your browser now, Document All gives you an HTML all collection, its own special thing. The type of it is undefined, making it the only falsy object in order to work around our bad feature check, which is where the TK is going to be filled in a little more. So that's it. That's the one object you might find across all of JavaScript that is falsy. I mean, it's not JavaScript proper's fault, and I almost didn't write about it, but like, Mike Panisi was like, you gotta mention it, and it's just so weird. How could I not? I mean, it's the DOM. The DOM's fault. DOM did this. What was I doing? A newsletter? Am I out of time already? It's been an hour. Great. Yeah, Document All is still going. Not a lot gets dropped from the platform. But I'm catching up. I have a question. Me and a friend of mine have a plan to make websites for the business, small to medium projects. The idea is to make 2 or 3 themes that the client can choose from, and we can customize it to their liking. Is it worth it? Hard to say. I am not really an authority on making good business decisions, as evidenced by the fact that I mean, it's a good idea. It's certainly a good idea on Oracle. Yeah, Vale, don't think I haven't thought of that. Yeah, because this is a commercial usage of the term JavaScript. And that certainly comes up in here. Everyone go sign that petition, I guess. What's that going to do? Yeah, I mean, if that's something you could... Here's the way I'd look at that. It is from an independent consultant standpoint, I'd be taking a loss on doing it. Like, that's unbillable time for a while. But if that can be spun off into equivalent time savings in the future, it's certainly worth doing. It has been my experience, I will say, that the customize it to their liking ends up being the lion's share, because it is tough to foist on a client like, here is the thing you get or the other thing you get. Which of these do you want? The answer is, I want 9 things from this and 14 things from the other one. Why can't I do both? Tough. That is a tough one. But I guess that depends. If there's a limited, there's a pretty limited, I guess, potential client set for that, if that makes sense. I am, again, looking at the chat while I'm talking to someone. I mean, listen, it is my experience that there's certainly room for, like, I get a lot of emails that are like, I just need a quick site. Can you help quick? And I have to write back like, hey, you might want to look at Wix or Squarespace or something. I'm a capital C consultant, and you don't want to pay me for that. You just need a quick thing. So I can say that much. It does seem like there is room for something that's like, choose between a couple of sites. You get not a bespoke theme, but you get more support than haul off and use Wix or Squarespace. Like, it's not, I don't know, I heard about it on a podcast. You get an actual person to talk to. So I'm not going to say give it a shot, but it certainly seems like a viable enough idea. Like, I could see me trying it. Yeah, that's true enough. Well, that's why I usually, instead of being like, hey, go install WordPress, which is like, there is a lot of, right, exactly, there's a lot of room for stuff to blow up in someone's face there. Instead, it's like, I don't know, Wix is pretty good. That'll get you there. I don't know that, but like, that's the use case for it, certainly. What a good newsletter I've written. Covering. I already used covering. This is still the skeleton of something. From the entities, the 12 within Unicode's astral planes, to the 1 falsy object. This is a course about JavaScript, is what it is. If you hit up wil.to/js, it will bring you to the landing page for the JavaScript for Everyone course, which is coming so soon, so very, very soon. So soon. And this is the newsletter for it that goes out every 2 weeks. And I do it live on stream, and everyone tries to make me confess to crimes I've committed in the past. And distract me by talking about video games. And it works every time, and I never finish a newsletter on it, and I end up scrambling to finish it with the rest of my day. I do have to continue the m dash count. Approximately 80,000. A bit. I am predictable. Of the established bit. You know? Yeah, that's true. God, I really am. I mean, I'm not active worried about the Oracle thing, but it has certainly sprung to mind as I iterate on a t-shirt that says JavaScript in big letters on the front. Stay tuned. I'm not designing it. Oh. I get 0 credit for the landing page itself. That one wasn't... I just wrote Near Automata on construction paper with a crayon and waved it at Set Studio. And they did that. They came up with that. And underneath it said, parentheses, arcade games. I think it would actually say, parentheses, Fun Spot Arcade in Wares Beach, New Hampshire. Shout to the largest arcade in the world. 1, falsy object in the web. I was going to say of JavaScript, but that's not true. Not about non. I've already talked about non like 4 times. Baseball was a lot of fun for me, considering how many JavaScript errors were involved in the ongoing storytelling. Non was my favorite player. But like so many imperiled hedgehogs, I gotta go fast. Not quite done yet. That's pretty good. I mean, I've covered some of that. I don't... How much value you get from the purchase is a fraud topic. But that's... I think it's good. I'll end with something like that. I think it'll be useful. I think it'll be good. I mean that. That's sincere. According to the new... This is where I talk about JavaScript. Oh, I should probably wrap up soon. I didn't realize I was over. There's a lot of editing left to do. And I still... And just like my time spent on the other end of the... Just like my time spent on the other. I learn. Nah, this is nothing. There's a lot of editing left to do. I mean, what I'm driving at is that I still need to figure out all of the... Every module is going to end with a live code exercise, not like a check the box for which one is alert or whatever. It's going to be an actual, give me this output in this embedded editor. I haven't come up with those yet. I imagine they're going to flow pretty naturally, but they are the last thing that I haven't started getting my head around. So maybe that's worth a mention. I don't know. I don't want it to sound like I'm putting anything off with so little time left. But yeah, okay. So this is shaped a little like a newsletter, and it doesn't have to be a long one. What is this? 300 words? Okay, that's not a long one. But still, you know, I can't wording good at this point, so maybe a quick one's fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. And we owe it all to you, chat, as always, for keeping me so focused and on task and eyes on the prize, baby. We're writing a newsletter and not It really is the same every time. Every time I go into it like this one, I've got an idea, I've got a plan, I've got a few sentences ready, and we're going to bang out a newsletter, and then I'm going to go have a sandwich. But no, I'll be writing. Um, I'll probably go have a sandwich. But thank you just the same, everyone, for joining. I appreciate it. I will see you in 2 weeks. Let me just pop open the calendar here, which will be 1 week is October 1st. Second week is October 8th. That will be 2 work days before the course launches. So I am going to be having a full-on meltdown. Look forward to it.